Good Tuesday morning. Today, 6 Mile Run is complete. We've got a bagel, we've got some breakfast sausages, and we've got one of these. We are out of eggs. We are about to go on a hiking trip in like 2-3 days. So we're like just kind of ripping through whatever we have in the fridge. And so you're getting down to like finding the scraps at the bottom of the freezer. And so that's what today's gonna be about. Not that this is a bad breakfast, it's actually fine. But outside of this, there's not much left. So see what we can muster up here on this Tuesday morning.
Also, check this out. So I built this. It was a bitch and a half to do, but I built this past weekend. This is I'm not sure if we're gonna reorganize. There's some still room here. We're gonna figure this out. This is what we're looking at right now inside of the office. So we're gonna move and rearrange. This is gonna go, here's where my desk is at. That's gonna go right here. So I'm gonna put that case shelf right here. And then we're gonna take this side table and we're gonna put it in that corner. We're gonna move the bean bag to the middle where that is, and then we have the dog crate, so in about 2 weeks when we have the dog, that's gonna stay there. I think that's the plan for right now. And then here's the desk setup and all that stuff. A bunch of stuff we're gonna take and we're gonna put it inside of here and rearrange and everything, but that's the plan. This light is probably gonna also stay on top of, or in this corner. I like it there. And then we're just gonna rearrange a few things, but that's the plan. Also, not sure what to do with this Austin FC banner. I thought it was cool, so I bought it. And it was like 30 bucks, but I'm like, I don't really know what to do with it now.
Lunch of champs, baby. So we got a fat bowl of rice, we got some cheese, and some pulled chicken. I'm gonna add some Franks, and we're gonna feast. Pretty bland meal, but the Franks, it's fine. We're running out of food now, so. It is now Wednesday. Check what I got in the mail just yesterday. Some beauties. These are the Nike Pegasus Trail 3s, something like that, I think is what it's called. Pretty cheap pickup. I mean, they were under 100 bucks. They're like 85 bucks on Amazon when I found them. And I was like, I need to get a trail shoe eventually because the first race that I'm currently signed up for in November is a trail-based race. And it's like an hour away. So I could go over to those trails, and I definitely will. The plan is after like the first 10 weeks of like official training for the ultra marathon, I want to get out to the trails and do like a mock race, maybe do 25 miles, do maybe a marathon, and have like the car be like the halfway point, like pack my water and all that stuff, then come back to the car as I'm halfway done, and then maybe get some gels, have a snack or whatever, refuel the water, and then do the second half and make it seem like it's going to be race day, because I have to do like 3 laps or whatever around the 10-mile track or something like that. That's the plan. So I was like, I got to get these anyway. We're also going hiking, and that'll probably be like in the next video or something like that. We're going hiking, and so I was like, well, let me get a trail shoe that's meant for hiking and stuff. So I'm gonna wear these guys on our hike out in Big Bend, because I had these like nasty boots that were like super huge and I get blisters and stuff. So I picked these up in 11.5. I'm usually a size 11, but I go a half size up because my feet swell up when you're going for, miles and miles and miles. And Nike tends to run a little bit small for me, or a little bit narrow for me. So half size up is the play. So that's that. Also, we just hit a nice little trade. Today was honestly like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like I've been so much more disciplined in the trading and all that stuff. I don't know, that's just how it's been. I've just been dialed in this month. So far this month, we've got one red day, and it's even a small one. Everything else is really solid. Not trading as much because I'm being very selective, but it's working out. Had AMD, nice breakout to the upside, had a big move. Contracts exploded. They went like 30, 40, 50%. I took profits at like 12 to 15%, and I took the last one off at like 25, 30%, locked it in, walked away. I tend to risk 5, 10% on these contracts, and so whenever I see 10 plus, I tend to take, if I'm in 3, if I'm in 5, I take half of it off, or 2 to 3 contracts off, a half to 2/3 of it off, and then I like to have one to ride. Still trying to get better at that because could miss out, but it worked out because AMD ended up dumping back down. Market was up, down, up, down. It's just been like a chop city. We've got no really true continuation to the upside or downside here. But that's where we're at, and we're just chilling right now. The Robinhood portfolio, as I pull it up right now, is teetering on the 10K mark. It's just doing its thing. The thing on year to date, by the way, on the Robinhood, which I haven't realized this until now, it's up 32%. Like, shit. That's pretty cool. So happy with that. I can't complain about that. I feel like I'm managing it much better. Selling covered calls in positions and letting them do their thing. And that's really it. So it's been pretty laid back, I would say. I'm just getting some stuff done. I had some work to do, had some videos and other stuff on the other channels that I had set up before I leave. And I'll be hiking for like a couple of days and then back next week. So that's the plan. And, hopefully we can keep this streak going. Another summer morning where it's like kind of trying to be sunny, but it's cloudy and just humid as hell here. What is going on? We're back. Happy Thursday. We are currently in a small Facebook trade meta. See if Zuck can take us to the promised land. It's been fine of a week. I'm actually agreeing the week, but it hasn't provided a lot of setups. We just are in this chop and it's just like up and down, up and down. There's really no continuations up or it. You thought maybe the CPI and the PPI would come out and get some movement. No, it just doesn't seem like that's the case. So this week has been a pretty decent week in terms of getting other work done. I got a lot of it done yesterday, and then we're about to leave for our trip in about like 20 hours. So today I got a birthday to go to later on this evening. Some fire Mexican food. If you guys know Chuy's, it's hands down one of my favorite places to go. It's not super expensive. Fat margaritas, but good stuff, good food. Also, I need to mention this. Today we had a 6-mile run. I shaved about 5 minutes off of my easy pace that I did from a couple of days back. Super freaking hot. I mean, I was just in the car and the car was like reading 77, 79 at like 8 a.m. And I was out there, 6 to 7 a.m. So it was super humid, super hot, just really thick, dense like air. And the biggest thing that I'm now noticing on those days, and especially on long runs, is I don't think I'm taking in enough water and electrolytes. And I have an electrolyte powder. I take some prior to the run, take a sip, mix them up. And then I also try to eat a little piece of toast. Sometimes it's a full piece, sometimes it's a half a piece with some peanut butter and honey, and then some salt on it. So I'm trying to make sure I have some good fuel before the workouts, but the longer they are and the more exertion that I have right on these workouts, it becomes a little more taxing and draining. So when you're out there for 53 minutes, about an hour on the 6-mile run, that's what it was, and you're pushing, because I was pushing pace. This is one of those workouts where I was pushing pace. I think what I'm going to start to do is on these workouts is start to kind of not run them continuously, and more so do kind of a light warm-up jog for about a mile, then kind of calm down and set myself up, run for like a half mile hard, slow down, maybe even walk, take a sip of water, get myself set up, find the next section, maybe it's a hill, maybe it's a flat, maybe it's a downhill, and just practice on different, pieces of that 6-mile loop, and eventually it'll be 7, and I think it goes up to 8 towards the end of these training runs, then I have my longer runs on the weekend, but that's the plan. So I got to the end of this run. I'm absolutely soaked. My shorts are completely soaked. I've only been out there for an hour, but I was completely drenched, soaking wet. I don't wear a shirt because it's like a waste. It's a complete waste of a shirt in my opinion, but like just dripping off me. I did stop 2 times on the run for like 30 seconds for like 3 sips of the water, which also had some electrolytes and some liquid carbs in it. So it's like a little bit of fuel, but I'm not gonna just start chugging it down, because then, you don't wanna drink too much while you're exerting yourself pretty hard, pretty intense. And so that's the kind of the balance. But by the end, the overexertion, the heat, and just the loss of sweat and just water and electrolytes, I was literally this close to throwing up. I was like about to just dry heave over onto the side of the road. Did not do it. And then just kind of sipping, don't chug. The second I tried to just take a sip once I finished the run, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up, I can't. So just relax, calm down, take a little sip. While I was showering, I brought my bottle of water in, which had some electrolytes, take a little sip as I can kind of get back. And then now, a couple hours later, my body's adapting, I'm fine. I ate some food, had some protein, like I'm refueling and just not chugging water, but I'm just kind of continuously sipping water. My pee's back normal, I'm not dehydrated, I'm fine. but it just takes, getting used to, and also especially when you have these variables that maybe are a little bit different from what you're used to in the heat and maybe the overexertion, right? As you start running more, as you start running farther, these are just things to take into account and to kind of just, critique a little bit, because it will make the runs better, more enjoyable. And the last thing you want to do is feel like you're going to throw up, right? That's not going to make you want to come back and do it again, right? Maybe it's a sign that you're pushing yourself and you're doing some good work. I get it. But in my view, it's like pump the brakes a bit. Let's adjust our, nutrition and hydration approach. Make sure that's dialed in, because it's a longevity. You want to do this, longer term, and you don't want to have swimming problems, because if you have swimming problems, you're not going to run as fast, you're not going to be as efficient, and you're not going to get to maybe the time goals or the distance goals or the overall fitness goal that you're looking to get to in the long run. I feel bad this video wasn't like super great. A lot of like shit going on, and the next couple of weeks is going to kind of be like that. So I'll see what I can get and what I can pull out of it. I do a video coming up in a couple of days, so stay tuned for that. Kind of covering like 5 biggest things that I'm taking away ever since starting running now, at least 3 times per week. Very consistently for the past 3 months, which is pretty insightful in my opinion, and I put a few minutes into that, so I highly recommend you check it out when it does come out in a couple of days. In the meantime, the only thought that I'm having about the portfolio, because it'll be like a little portfolio update here, is day trades or whatever, they're fine, we're doing our thing. I'm probably gonna pull money out of that, so we're gonna have a decent, like if we have some good weeks, I'll pull money out of that for myself, kill some loans, so I've just been aggressively paying those down. And then maybe put some more money into the Robinhood if I want to as time goes on. That's kind of like the nature of how I'm gonna do it. So that money ultimately is gonna be like a feeder into the portfolio, the Robinhood portfolio. But it's down today because silver's down a good bit. And I was looking, I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't be this closely tied to the performance of silver. And so I'm in a leveraged silver play, which is up nicely. I'm up good, and I've been selling covered calls. I think I made like 50% on the position in the past few months, which is great. But I'm thinking that in the near future, what I'm probably going to do is sell out of AGQ, which is the leveraged silver play. And I'm probably gonna take those funds, which AGQ right now is in like the low to mid 30 price range, around 30 bucks, let's say. I'm probably gonna go into SLV. So I'm gonna go into no leverage into SLV to get that direct silver exposure. This way I don't have to worry. And it's also in like the low 20 price range. So it's gonna save me about $1,000 that I'll just have in terms of buying power for other things in the future if I want and whatnot. And then it's not gonna be as volatile. So I took a decent chunk, made a good chunk of change on the silver play as it is with the leverage, and then look to now roll into a less volatile position, but still have that silver exposure and still be able to sell covered calls, because 100 shares is only gonna cost me like 2,200 bucks. And right now I've got about 3,000, a little over 3,000 in a silver position as it is. So just pulling some out of there, minimizing or just downsizing on the leverage. And that's the plan. Other than that, everything is the same. This video, I know it wasn't super awesome, super crazy cool, but hopefully there was some good stuff to take away. And that's where we're currently at portfolio-wise. A lot of times, man, less is more, and that's what I'm finding. I've been much better dialed in. One red day of the month so far. Maybe today will be red. We're flat right now, so we'll see. It's been good. So just taking it one day at a time, just stacking the small wins, and that's what it is. Day by day, week by week, month by month, scratching and clawing, just like everything else. So if you're still here, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for some of the next videos. We got that running video coming out in a couple of days. And also, there should be some cool videos from Big Bend, which we'll be heading out to. And I'll see if I can record some. It's a beautiful place, so I want to record some of at least the hikes and the cool, shots that we have. It should be awesome. So super pumped for that. Thanks so much. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. These videos come out at least once a week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.